So you probably heard this concept, everything is energy. Everything is a vibrational field of energy. Now, quantum physics has already come to the point of showing us that physical matter is in fact a densely organized packet of fields of energy. Now, look at this from a moment from this perspective, a spiritual perspective, that there is no separation, that we are all connected, right? When you look at the perspective that everything is one unified field of consciousness, you realize that everything that is made of energy is in fact made of consciousness. And energy is the way that consciousness expresses itself in space-time. And as energy organizes itself into matter, it does so in certain patterns, in certain sacred geometries that express coherence. Now, when you look at the perspective that everything is connected, that there is no separation, they show this in quantum entanglement, right? They did an experiment where they took two vials and the DNA in one of them changed, and it affected a change in the DNA in the other vial. Now, both of them were vacuum sealed. How is it that there's no physical interaction between two vacuum sealed containers? That means that there is a quantum component to DNA. Interesting. And that is a poster board that is rolling up on the wall back there. Now, is this poster board connected to me via energy? Well, actually it is. Because ever think of somebody at a certain moment and they text you, right? Why does that happen? We're all connected in this field of energy. And also, if you look at the quantum slit experiment, this shows that there's something called the observer effect, that when people were looking at basically these particles are being shot through a slit, and then it's coming into and being read on this reader on this machine. It's a scientific experiment. And they showed that when the observers were looking at it, they would appear as particles. And when the observers were not, and they would be recorded as waveforms. And it was showing how energy is the waveform, and when through the observer effect, the waveform is collapsed to a particle and made into matter. Now, let's relate this to everything is energy. The universe is consciousness, right? A unified field of consciousness. So in the yoga traditions as well, there's something that is referred to as saying there is no separation, right? And this is to imply that through the process of yoga, yoga means union. The yogi becomes one through the practice of his yoga, becomes the yog, becomes the one, the union, or the yoking of the union of awareness. The separation between the yogi and the yoga dissolves, and this can happen between anything, right? And this is the awareness itself of that you are this thing in relationship to this other thing dissolves, and you realize there is no separation between you and anything. And then in fact, there is only oneness. And how does this affect us on a practical, metaphysical level? Well, when you think thoughts about someone, you are linked to them on space and time. The thoughts that you think affect the outcomes of things. When you are caught in thought forms with others, you are caught in a cause and effect with that person. And this is why clearing yourself, this is why forgiveness and letting go affects a change in our relationships, because we're all connected. When you realize that there's no separation, and in fact we're all part of one larger organism, or in fact we are expressions of one larger organism, you realize that whatever you do to another, you do to yourself, right? And this goes back to what Chief Seattle said, the indigenous wisdom about that humankind doesn't create the web of life, right? But is intrinsically a part of it. I just totally paraphrased that wrong. Whatever he does to himself affects every strand on the web. That was it. Oh, mankind didn't weave the web of life or something like that, but whatever he does to any part affects the whole web, right? And that's understanding that there's this whole web that whatever our strand is connected to all the other strands on the web of life. And so when we realize that everything is energy, we realize through this principle of quantum entanglement, in fact, what that shows us is that if you look at also the work of Nassim Haramein and the Resonance Foundation showing the 64-point star tetrahedron in the science of sacred geometry, you understand that this is the structure of the vacuum. This is the structure of space-time. Extrapolated off of that core thing is the flower of life, right? Is your Shri Yantra, is these different interpretations of the Star of David. These are all different interpretations or traditions of visions that people had into the underlying nature of creation, right? And now we're able to actually observe that there's a structure to space-time, to the vacuum. Now, in the quantum field, if we go out Joe Dispenza for a second, right? The whole point is to connect the dots, is that because everything is connected, or inside of this unified field of consciousness, this non-localized function happens, right? So that means, like I said, with the two vials of DNA, right? They were interacting what? Quantumly. They were activating, but they were both in what? A vacuum, but they're still interacting how? Energetically. That means that there's an ether. There's an ether that connects everything, that blankets the whole universe in a water of creation that is a vibrational ether that is moving through all things, and in fact is the substance of vibration through which physicality is made through consciousness. Now, the way it's a bit trippy to look at it that way, but really your lens of you are the witness looking through an aperture of consciousness, right, made of vibrations. Everything in this field affects everything else. Drop a ripple, drop a pebble in the water and it makes a ripple, right? It starts affecting these other ripples and so on and so forth. So if you look at it from this perspective, that everything inside of the ethers is interacting with everything else, you understand that there is a symphony and there is a dance going on with the energy. And one thing that is over here in a different physical location can affect something that is over here across the planet, because everything is quantumly entangled. There's in fact no separation. This is why distance energy healing works. This is why this video has a certain energy to it. That as you're able to sense the energy, you can feel the energy of there's some kind of transmission coming through it. That's why if a tree dropped in the forest and if there's no one there to hear it, did it make a sound? No, because there needs to be someone there to translate the vibration in order for there to be a sound. Now, if you can tune into the signal of it, right? Everything is happening in this universe. Something that is happening at a different physical location in time and space is still emanating a signal. It's still connected to an etheric signal in the infinite radio station of the universe, in which there are different broadcast frequencies going on. If you can tune into it, then you can hear it. Now, one person that is here, just like the quantum entanglement example, what does that show? That it shows that everything is in fact here and now, happening simultaneously, and that reality, as it appears in this third dimension, is in fact a hologram off of a unified field of consciousness that exists everywhere in the universe, from any point in time and space, anywhere in the universe, because everything is made of energy and everything is connected, is in fact accessible to any other point in time and space. Meaning, just through the law of thought transmission, by thinking of someone, you connect with them telepathically. You can send them Reiki healing energy. You can affect the outcome of events. You can use the power, the miraculous power of your mind, which interacts with the quantum field or the ether, to affect changes in cause and effect. This is prayer as a technology. This is the law of attraction. This is the law of assumption. This is the law of vibration. These are the hermetic principles of consciousness. And as you understand that just by thinking that thought, you are connected with something. Now, there was another experiment where two scientists on either side of the planet had the same breakthrough, same discovery at the exact same moment in time. Neither of them knew of each other or their work, nor had anyone in either of their teams met anyone or knew of anything that was going on in their spheres of influence. Why? Why? Collective consciousness. Why? Everything is connected. Everything is mind. Prime hermetic axiom, all is mind. And what is mind made of? Mind is made of vibrations. It's a broadcast signal. Thoughts are the seeds in which you have to have the idea, and then it's created. Right? In order for this window to be created, somebody had the idea of a window. Where do the ideas come from? The ideas come from source. When you're able to tune into that frequency, you can access those ideas because everything is made of energy. Everything is a field of consciousness, and you can train yourself as an instrument to be able to work with that energy. And this is also why distance healing works. This is why transformational work works. This is why offerings online work. This is why somebody can tune into your energy and be able to scan you while being on the phone. I've literally done this, and you can feel where the things are in somebody's energy and in their chakras, and you can guide them through a transformation of awareness. You don't even have to be looking at them. Some people don't even need to be on the phone to do that. Why? Because everything is energy. They can literally, by tuning into your energy through the law of transmission, thought transmission, the law of thought transmission, can access the state of consciousness of which you are, because there is no separation. It doesn't matter. You're on the phone, on the internet, boom, you could be guided through a transformation. You could go through an energetic clearing, right? This is the same thing why the transformational programs online work, or you are called to go to a certain retreat or event, or why it's putting out a certain energy. Why does energy healing work at all? Because when they hold the space for you and the things are coming up in your body and you're feeling them somatically, the way that they hold the compassion and the way that they're able to work with their own modality that facilitates the clearing of the energetic pathways and meridians of the body temple, allow the natural healing pranic life force energies to flow through you, restoring yourself to alignment with nature, of which you are made in the likeness and image of the Creator. Back to the very beginning, to where I said that there are certain prime patterns of the way that coherence through the law of mind organizes itself through sacred geometry, in which energy becomes organized into matter. Vibration becomes matter. There's a coherent, beautiful pattern to creation. And if we align ourselves with this is what plant medicine helps us do. This is what energy healing helps us do. This is what meditation helps us do. This is what yoga helps us do. This is what returning to the land helps us do. This is what connecting and speaking and praying and talking with spirit helps you do. This is what these various modalities of returning yourself, also with mindfulness of the food and praying with the waters and connecting all with the elements and all of these different modalities of ways of healing your trauma and changing the subconscious programming and shifting into a new paradigm and working with your beliefs and realizing your thoughts create your reality and, oh man, I attracted that. And all of that comes together as you realize that you're aligning yourself with a coherent pattern, and that just how everything is energy, and there's a remote thing within space, right? There's a remote connection between time, and your future self and your highest timeline already exists. So as you're able to tap into your future self and merge with that energy, as you're able to change your beliefs, as you're able to work through the emotional patterns and dis-eases, you're able to come back to ease and to grace and to align yourself with your higher self. and you're able to embody more of that energy. And that's going to make you more attractive to the things that you want. So I invite you guys to check out the Align with Your Highest Timeline meditation. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. Maybe share it with a friend who you think it would count. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, because we are dedicated to helping you stay tuned into alignment. Until next time, my friends, I'm Josh Faust, and I will see you on the next transmission.